It's a quick fix. Hello everyone, welcome back to Fix the Family. My name is Raylan Alamo and we are bringing you truth without compromise for the family. We're having a quick fix today, July 2nd, 2015, my baby girl's birthday. Hi Anna, she's a teenager today, 13. So happy birthday to you, little girl. All right, and after we filmed the last week's edition, I talked about legal unions in that video and talking about what's the cause of all these failed Catholic marriages. And lo and behold, the next day, unbeknownst to me, the Supreme Court of this land of the United States of America comes out with their decision on homosexual unions. How about that? So I would feel a bit remiss if I would have not addressed that here. I did on the blog, and you can go look at that article out on our blog for this week and see what I had to say there. And I want to just take a little bit of a different approach today on this, talking about how the United States has compromised truth. And that's our tagline, truth without compromise for the family. So how did that happen? Well, you know, the approach that I'm taking on this whole situation is that, and I have teenagers, I have, young adult children that I have to explain, well, what's going on with these things to. And what we have as Catholics is some boundaries to live within. And if we look at the law, and that's what this whole Supreme Court thing was about the law. The law is there for what? It's to set a minimum standard of behavior before you are getting into trouble. Well, the church does that for us as Catholics. And that standard is much higher than any civil standard that's out there. And that's what we go by. So we're always above that standard. And people say, well, you can't legislate morality. Well, you can, and you actually do. And it's why. It's not for the benefit of those who want to break the law. It's to protect those who a breaking of the law will harm. Just like, you can't kill. It's to protect the victim of who would be killed. Well, in this case, who are these homosexual unions going to harm? Obviously, the children that they want to adopt, because these children will be brought into these relationships and learn something that is very unnatural and won't have, as Pope Francis tells us, the benefit of growing up in a mother and father household, a natural household, where they learn the reality of what God intended for a relationship to be. We shouldn't need those laws as Catholics. I got, people saw, I just posted up, I finally got my full 5-volume version of the Summa Theologica by St. Thomas Aquinas. I can't wait to dive into that. But I've read different summations of it and interpretations of it and commentaries on it. One said, we shouldn't need the law. We should love God so perfectly and so purely that we don't need the law to tell us when we're committing a sin. So why would we be dwelling? That's what I say, be not afraid, be not perturbed. Yes, we do need to be involved as Catholics. We do need to get involved in the process and be fighting this fight against the injustices that will happen to these children that will be affected by these relationships. But for us personally, it really shouldn't bother us. It's those that are trying to do something deviant that this is a big deal for. It's a big victory for them. But for us, it's business as usual. And so, how does that affect, what we're talking about here? How about if we have relationships and marriages that are so healthy that nobody will be looking for something deviant? Maybe people are looking and say, well, this normal marriage isn't all it's cracked up to be, so I'm going to do something. I'm going to just do whatever I want to do, whatever I feel like doing. Maybe that's the problem. But point being is that we have guidelines within the church. We have truth. We have the solidness of truth that comes from Almighty God. The United States of America, in its governments, its nationalities, has decided to compromise that truth. We don't have to go along with that. We shouldn't be forced to go along with that. We just go on and keep doing our thing like we're doing. So we have to know that truth and then we have to be able to communicate it to our own children, form them in that truth. So why? So that they can be a witness. So that they can witness to those people who are unchurched, who don't know God, who are pagan, to say, look, there's a better way. There's a natural way. And this is what it is. And that's what being apostolic, that's what being Christian, completely Christian, is all about. So be not afraid, as St. John Paul II said, and as St. Padre Pio says, pray and don't worry. Go on and raise your family right. Have a good, strong marriage with your spouse, and just enjoy the fruits of that. God intends for us to have joy in our families, in our relationships. Thanks for attending this quick fix today. God bless you. Come back and see us. My name is Raylan Alamo.